Hello and welcome back. In lesson 6, we're going to talk about widgets. And we do have some new updates here. So this will be the first time I'm showing them. But all you do is hit create widget. And it's going to look like this. If you don't worry about groups at this point, if you don't have any groups set up, which is no big deal. You're going to put in your domain name here, the domain that it's going to be connected to. And then categories to display in widget. This is relatively new. So I had a request, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. A lady said, well, I don't do any Rons. And I don't want Ron to be showing up as a possibility so people think that they can hire me for it because I don't do that. Fair enough. So we modified the system so that you're not going to show up in any jobs that you don't do. If you don't do Rons, that radio button won't show up. If you don't do real estate, if you don't do any mobile stuff, if you only do Rons, if you take these out, it won't show up, right? Now, these ones actually correspond to these sections right here, these 4. So if you remove virtual, and this is a new one, it's not connected to that widget. So, but if you remove one of those, it's going to take them out of that category. Going to the next section, display group member types, right? Auto display group members or only display when buttons are clicked. In fact, let me go back here. I will actually show you how this works. Let me go to that particular website. It's TonyTheNotary.com. So if I take virtual out here, and let's say I take witness off as well. Again, some of this is fairly new, so I'm not sure what, I haven't necessarily tested it all. So let's find out together. In fact, yep, see, they're gone. Mobile notary. The only thing that shows up is mobile notary. I got rid of witnesses. I got rid of the virtual. So only the thing that shows up is general notary and real estate. Good. Works exactly as it's supposed to and exactly as I expected it to. So that's always good. Here's the other thing so you can always turn these back on, right? And just come back and click them on. This auto display is this. So when somebody does a search, let me grab an address. I just have some random addresses I use to test. We want general notary. Actually, I need. So then we hit search. What you'll see is myself and then some other notaries that I network with are also in here as well, and they show up automatically, you see. If you don't want them to show up automatically, you could say only display when button is clicked. Come down here and hit save. And then you refresh that page. Make sure we got that same address. And you'll see here exactly how it is different. Hit search. And then I'm the only one that shows up. And it's just got a little, need a time I'm not available, see other notaries here. So in other words, they have to click this button in order for them to be displayed. Because some people are like, well, I don't want just a whole bunch of people showing up on my deal. I want them to have to click to see who it is. So we added that as a functionality that is pretty nice. So some people don't want everybody showing it. And I did have one gentleman tell me, I asked him, anytime they book me on here, I asked him, how was it? He said, well, it was a little confusing because I talked to you and then I saw these other notaries on there and I wasn't sure what to make of that. Okay, that makes sense. So depending on your preference, you can do that however you would like. I like the auto display. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to leave it for right now. I'll come back and fix this. Widget button position. So you can see the widget button is right here. And you can play around inside here. You can go top left. It'll move it. You can put it wherever you want on your website, depending on what you need for, how your website's built. You want the left side? You want the right side? Anywhere you want. I like it the bottom right. I'm just used to that. You can see right here, you can play around with it, and it'll move it around. It'll change this. If you want it to say free quote, you can put in blah, 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 blue, whatever you want in there. There you go. You see it pops in there. So this is where you're going to get your widget looking the way you want it to. Okay, you can turn it off if you want. If you want to uncheck it, it'll deactivate it from your website. You can change the color. This is going to be the text color. You see what it is now. You see the colors changing there? You can change it to red. You can change it to black. You can have it match your exact website, however, whatever color you want it to be. Is there a white or something like that? There's a red, kind of a yellow. That's too bright. So you can play around with it here. Same thing. You got to just play around with it. But you can match your color codes up. Final page code, don't worry about that. That's for a lead conversion page through some other Google stuff. That's, again, for a future build out. But there's two different ways you can do this. Is you can have the floating bubble, right? Which is, here's the code. So you're going to take this to your website if you're using a builder. There are some builders this does not work well with. GoDaddy, their builder, at least a year and a half ago, did not work with this. It would put the button on there, but tried to open it up. It kept it locked in this little section. I spent 3 or 4 hours on the phone with tech support, 3 or 4 different people there. And the last guy finally, at like tier 3, he's like, our builder just won't work with this. So you got to find a workaround, right? What you can do then, here's the beautiful part, is that you can, okay, I'm going to come back to this, but let's say it doesn't work like with GoDaddy. Recently discovered somebody else had an issue with Divi, which is a WordPress builder. And same thing with it. There was no way it wasn't working with them. What Jody did is took this. This is for the built-in form. So if you want just a static form on your site, instead of, see, I've got the floating bubble. I also have a page, which actually I stole from the idea from Jody. It's just a hidden booking page, but it has the static form on there. So you can just put it like this, and you can set it up however you want. So I've got the floating bubble and the form, but you can have either one, whichever way you want. That's the beauty of it. So here was the awesome solution that she came up with. Since the floating bubble didn't work with Divi inside WordPress, she's created this button. You can create a button on almost any website. And then behind that button, just coded the form, put a little pop-up window in there, and had the form code, this one right here, so it shows up just like this. So it essentially works the same way. You click the button and it pops up and has the deal there. In fact, this right here is exactly why I stole the idea and created a separate booking page. Plus, you can take this right here. If you take that link, if you create a static booking page, you can put this on your Google My Business profile, GMB. That's what I'm trying to think of. You can put this link on there which says appointments. Somebody clicks it, brings them right here. It's beautiful. Those are 2 genius things that she did. And I stole them. Somebody's got a good idea, you use it, right? But getting back to the floating bubble. So if you decide to go with this, and there's one key point I want to make sure of. So if you're going to do the floating bubble, if it works on your site or your site builder, then great. That's what you want. And you can do multiple different things, right? The thing that is important is to make sure you get this color and the words the way you want it. Because what happens is it's going to take these words, it's going to take these colors, and it's going to put that down here into the code. Right? See, it has the color right here. It has the words right here. Whoops, right there. So once you put this into your website, that's the way the color is. Now, obviously, you can go back and change it, but you have to come back and copy and paste this code back into your website. So if you're going to do it a whole bunch, it's going to take a lot of work. Best thing to do is get your colors and the words you have right the first time. Then you don't have to keep changing it. Now, here's the beautiful thing is, if you change that, if you change the color or the wording, you're going to have to change the code. These other things do not. You don't have to change. If you want to change the location of this, that'll automatically happen. If you want to change the auto display, that'll automatically happen. These will automatically happen. The only thing that you have to change the code for is the colors and the text. Here's one other beautiful thing that I am very thankful for my developer for, is you've got mobile, online consultation. If you go to the service fees, and this is automatic, I asked him to create something that would get rid of it. I said, I don't care how you fix it. I'm not too picky about how we get to the end result, but like the lady said, I don't do RONs. I don't want RON there. Well, when you're editing your service fees, I may have shown this in this section. I think I did, but I'm not 100% certain. Consultation. I'm not in love with where this is at right now, so as we make progressions and we make future things, we'll have them modify this. But if we take that off, okay, first of all, you see it's here as online consultation, right? If you uncheck consultation and I hit save, then I refresh this page. Notice the online consultation went away there and here. So no matter where your widget's at, that's going to disappear. So whatever you have checked in your service fee section, if you don't have anything in your, if all you do is real estate and you don't do any general notary, you uncheck everything in here, the system recognizes that and takes the general notary out. Virtual, if you don't do virtual, well, this is the radio buttons, right? You got the 2 radio buttons. If you don't do RONs, just don't check anything here. So in other words, the system recognizes what you do and don't do and modifies it accordingly. So I'm thankful that he did that. It was genius and I love it. So It is much better that way. So I think that's pretty much it for the widget, though. I don't think there's anything else. I think I covered everything here. So code for the widget, the built-in form, if you want to do that. Same thing if you want the built-in form, you just copy and paste this into your site wherever you want. And again, you can use both. You can use them multiple places like I did. I created a separate page with the static form, and I've got the floating bubble on there. Oh, the floating bubble, I don't know if I said this. You're going to put this in the header. So the header is this, like where your menu is, right? We go back to the main page. This is the header where your menu is, so that every single time you put a page on, it's always the same. If you put it in the header, then it puts it on every single page. So if you go to services on my floating bubbles there, if I go to the about, in fact, let me go back there and show you this, and this is one thing you can do as well. If the floating bubble doesn't work, or even if it does, I've got all these buttons here. You can put buttons and you just code it behind. So the button's going to ask you on the website builders, what do you want to come up? All you do is take that code. You take this code right here, copy and paste it into that, and it will create a pop-up. So I've got a whole bunch of places here that people can get a free quote. They can come down here and they can book now, right here. Same thing, right? So you can scatter these throughout your entire website. Don't overkill it, but at the same time, you want the end user to be able to easily book you from just about anywhere they're at on your site. So you want to place them strategically so that they can easily book you. When they decide, okay, I want to use this guy, book now. Okay, oh, here we go. All right. Make it easy. Don't overkill it, but definitely make it simple for them to hire you. That is the whole purpose of this tool, is to make it easy for your clients to use you, to book you, so that they come back for more. All right, that's it for the widget lesson. If you have any questions, you got my phone number, email, call, text, set up an appointment. You know how to get a hold of me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.